Six Gun Productions. New media, new rules.
This is Geek News Radio, broadcast 62. For Monday, May 21st, 2018. Fapping in the Heath.
You're listening to Geek News Radio, episode 62. I'm Fab in Hamburg.
I'm Dave in Birmingham.
Hello, Dave. It's all shit. I hate it.
What's wrong now?
I think the audio is going to be shit again. I don't know. It's like I installed Windows, the Windows feature update this morning because I was writing about it.
Summer update, or whatever they're calling it. Is it summer update?
April, spring update. I don't know. April update. 1803, whatever. I mean, It's been out for a while, but it's like now today they started to push it to people.
Yeah, so, pushing it to people rather than like you have to download it optionally or people.
Well, yeah, and I took a screenshot of you click here to check, and at that point it like downloads it, and then it's gonna bug you. So I thought I might as well get ahead of it and install it in work time because why not? And now they changed the sound settings. They're now integrated into the settings. And they look a lot better and they're a lot easier, but there's a lot few knobs, and I don't know my way around it, and it's probably still gonna. I mean, people know this by now. It's an ongoing thing. If this keeps going like this, we might at some point just do a double ender, right? And you'll record locally.
Yeah, and we'll sync with a different word every week.
Oh, well, yeah, if you want.
And we'll cut that bit out and we'll put that at the beginning. That'll be like.
Well, anyway, I need a drink now, so I'm opening a beer.
Excellent.
I'm drinking Andex from Kloster Andex, Spezial Hell. So it's the special hell, like in Firefly, special hell.
Mm-hmm. And I have an old-fashioned made with some random rye whiskey.
That sounds excellent.
It's good. It's got lots of ice cubes in it because it's toasty. Oh my god, Fab, it's so warm.
It's warm, isn't it? Yeah.
It's fucking not nice.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's warm over here as well.
I wore shorts to work today.
Oh yeah, that was it sounded like that was a controversy, like in Discord. It sounded like
Discord was very supportive, and they were like, wearing shorts to work, that's normal and acceptable. Because Discord's full of software engineers, but the department I'm in currently, it has non-software engineers, so they like wear suit trousers and are like, "Ooh, shorts, that's controversial." Like, really? Is that
you should move to Australia. Like in Australia, it's with lots of uniforms. So it's just like normal shorts.
Yeah.
But then it would also be a lot warmer.
Yeah. I think the fact I have to wear shorts in this weather means that I'm probably not suited for any sort of Australian extravaganza.
That sounds like a Poirot episode. The Australian extravaganza. Yeah, I mean it's kind of frowned upon here as well. Like not at my workplace because they're all nerds, but like with normal people. But then I've been dressing up lately. I had some very fancy photos made and put them on Facebook, and now
I saw that on Facebook.
And now everybody asks me if I'm going to go work for a bank.
Yeah, because you're like wearing a tie. Somehow, like they've made you look less grey.
That's just the lighting. Yeah, it is on that Facebook photo. It's because it's the guy lighted that other than the other one, and it's like I do look less grey there. I like wearing a tie. I like that. We were having like this discussion on Discord. You would like, why would somebody wear that?
Yeah, why would you optionally wear a strangulation device?
It looks good. It's nice to look good. It's like Poirot. You have to, it's nice to look nice. I like that. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about a little bit about Pillars of Eternity 2, which just came out today. Subsequently, I haven't even looked at it. There's some news about Elite Dangerous for the Mac. I want to talk about, in vein of Char, and we talked about TV shows and shit.
Yeah.
There's two. One I want to get around to talk about anyway, which is Lost in Space, which I'll finally get to. I just finished it today. And then I've been watching Bosch, which I want to talk about. And you have been to the movies.
I have been to the movies. I went to see Infinity War, and
Of course you did.
And it's everything I wanted and everything Fab hates.
Of course it is. So we'll have a nice discussion about that. Yeah, so if people wonder, we're like a bit on a mission to record a few more shows because we dropped some there and,
Yeah, we've got to keep Nicholas happy and maintain the average.
So in the average, this is the second April show. So then we have 2 May shows to go. But I don't know if we can do that in May. We'll catch up at some point.
We'll eventually catch up, yeah.
I actually looked into my calendar and I'll be in 2 weeks' time. I'll actually be on holiday for a week, more than a week.
Wow.
Dad and me are doing another motorbike tour.
Awesome.
We're doing the Alps this year, so we're driving. I'm riding down to Duisburg, and then we're going to Munich, and then we're doing the Alps with all the Alpine countries. Oh God, that's gonna be. I think I need holiday after that because I'm gonna be like fucked. My fingers are gonna be. Anyway. It'll be fun. So there'll be a gap there, and we'll get to it. There's so many topics we need to talk about. I have so many in the list that we never got around to.
Yeah. So inside a baseball thing, we have lots of things that we haven't talked about yet because they're like big topics that would end up taking up like a whole episode and or involve doing research for.
Yeah, and we need to plan it and have people on, and it's
some of them are literally like, read this book, and it's like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I've just been like, even like scheduling with people, like I can barely like schedule with you, I mean, luckily we're very flexible, so I was like last night, I was like, oh, can we do a show? You're like, oh, okay, I can do tomorrow.
It's quite convenient, but lots of other people are like, oh, I've got all.
Oh, sorry, you cut out there. Oh my God.
Fucking Discord. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
If I sounded okay on Studio Link, should we just swap back to that?
Well, you didn't really sound. Let's keep going.
Let's battle on for a bit.
We'll battle on. Just imagine, since I've been playing lots of BattleTechs. Oh damn! I wanted to do an intro. I forgot.
Oh, no.
And into the Reactor Online, Census Online, Weapons Online, All Systems Nominal. That's been, driven itself in my brain. Just imagine, like, we're in a combat zone, and that's why the dropouts happen. It's just like communication failure. I need like a filter that I can just go. I've been playing too much BattleTech. That's actually let's get into the show, right?
Yeah, let's actually do a podcast.
So I've been, what a novel concept. So Pillars of Eternity, right? I've been looking forward to like Deadfire for ages now. I've figged it on Fig.
What?
They kickstarted it, but not on Kickstarter. You know how they made their own thing called Fig.co?
Is that the one where you get like actual investing?
Yeah, there's like it's not. Yeah, it's a combo of like it's like Kickstarter for normal people like me.
Yeah,
and then there's also people can actually invest in it. Like people have a lot of money, who want to invest in games.
Yeah.
So I think Pillars is like I saw this. Or what's it? What's the company called? It's actually published by a publisher that Versus Evil, which is they did. God, what they do? It's gone right out of my head. Let me see. Versus Evil. That's why we have Wikipedia. It must say on there the Banner Saga. So I guess they fixed it as well. I don't know how that works. I just know that it's. I like saying fixed it because
it sounds dangerously close
to ficken, which is to fuck in German. Yeah. So it's weird. Yeah, so I was massively excited about this, and in a parallel universe, I would have looked forward to this for months and weeks, and I actually did for months, but then I kind of I would have taken time off work, right? to play this. But it's perfect. It's like totally warm, and this is like, where the other Pillars was like in a cold climate with snow and stuff in the expansion. This is like the Deadfire archipelago with like pirates and Caribbean sand and palm trees. So it's perfect for that weather right now.
Yeah.
But like BattleTech came out, and I've been playing. Let me just check on Steam. How many hours of BattleTech?
Oh dear.
60 now.
Wow.
Even though I don't have any time because work's killing me, but I somehow have played 60 hours of BattleTech. And it's just like, it's completely overwhelmed, like my Pillars thing. Like I didn't even know until like 2 days ago that Pillars was when it came out. Like, I completely forgot about it because of BattleTech. I hate it, Dave. There's too many good video games.
There are just too many things happening to like be on top of any of them.
There's PUBG. I mean, I haven't played that in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, I've purchased BattleTech, but I've not even installed it yet.
It like either you'll hate it or it'll completely eat your time.
Oh, it looks so good.
I'm like caught up in this death spiral. So we talked about this game. I'm just gonna talk about it a bit more because it's so good. It's like an XCOM campaign, except you're spending money all the time because you're repairing your mechs, and basically it doesn't have a doomsday clock. Your doomsday clock is just when your company runs out of money, so you may have to make enough on missions. But then you go on a mission, of course, and your pilots get wounded. And then you need new pilots, and then your mechs get destroyed, and then you need to repair your mechs. And it's like, I had like a lot of money from one of the story missions. They net you a lot of money, and you're required to like do other missions and stuff. So to upgrade your mech, because the story missions get harder and harder, you need better mechs basically. And so I spent too much, I think. And now for the last days, I'm like in this death spiral where I basically just always do one mission to stave up bankruptcy, and net like 1 million like sea bills or whatever it is. And then I just like, I'm in the green again. Then I go to my mech thing and repair all my mechs. And
then you're back to where you started.
Yeah. And so I should really pull the plug on this campaign, really, and start over. But it's my first campaign, and this game is so good. It makes you not want to save scum and shit like that. Like in XCOM, like how in XCOM it's like it somehow it drives me to be like, because I'm so OCD, to have like the perfect campaign and stuff. And everything needs to be perfect. Like you don't want to lose your guys and whatever.
Yeah.
And this is more like, it makes you want to live with failure. But now you want to play on. But now I've gone so used to. I think I'm way too used to living with failure now. It's I think it's a problem. It's I don't know, but I kind of like that campaign, so I'm sticking with it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's sustainable. It's pulling me. It's pulling me in. Yeah, but I'll talk about Pillars. Like my problem is I didn't really finish Pillars 1. I've played it like 3 times now, and. I don't have the big town fear there. I just get lost. There's too much to do. Like, I don't finish the story mission.
Yeah, they're just monumentally big games. That just like.
And now I feel like, because it follows on with the story, I kind of need to finish it. And now I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'm just going to not play Pillars for a while. Maybe I'm just going to play Pillars 1 again or something. I don't know. Basically, I need more time. I don't know.
We need to like come up with a way of playing video games as a job.
Oh God, I so do that. I do almost anything for that. If that worked, I would basically, I love Katie very much, but I probably had to grow like a mustache, like Doc Disrespect, and then she would threaten to like divorce me. But then I still would kind of try to do it. This will probably get me into trouble. And then I would become alcoholic, but I'm doing that anyway, so whatever.
Fuck it up.
Anyway, we get back into that with Bosch. That fits my current lifestyle really well, I'd show. Anyway, Elite Dangerous, have you seen this? This is bad. It's bad news. Well, not for us, but for the Mac people.
Yeah. No, I've not actually seen it. You putting it in the show notes is the first I've seen of it.
So basically, they had a mess. Like Elite Dangerous came out for the Mac, and it's come out for consoles as well. And the Horizon expansion, which is by now like 2 years old or whatever, is like it never came out for the Mac, and they were saying, well, we're working on it, but we have like technical problems. And now they're saying, well, we'll stop doing Elite for the Mac, because now they're not doing like expansions, they just keep growing it, and they said, well, we can't do it. And the reason is, I guess everybody was guessing, because they have to port it to Metal, the graphics API, because Apple wants to everybody to go into Metal, which makes sense at some point. Like it's just like bad for people because it's their own thing. Like everybody's been just like, right now they're using OpenGL, and Apple is not really supporting that anymore because they want people to go to Metal. And everybody is kind of looking at Vulkan anyway, and now there's Metal too. It's just like it seems shit. And so it seems they're using compute shaders, and that just doesn't that's not there in the version of OpenGL, and it's not supported. I guess from the FAQ on why they didn't port Horizon, it seems like it's also not there in Metal. So they're basically saying we can't do this, and we rather devote our resources to something else, developer resources, which I kind of dig, but then I don't have a Mac, so.
Yeah, I guess there's kind of like kind of feeds into our previous thing that Nicholas emailed in so wonderfully to say that we were wrong about, in that like these kind of walled garden, more controlled computing environments don't let you do things, and like this is an example of it not letting you do a thing, even if you're like a massive game, like you're still not allowed to do it.
I think what we're seeing here is that Apple, like the thing I was saying, that they're going towards away from the truck, just towards end users, and they don't give a shit about gamers. I think that's the point. I don't think it's so much the walled garden, because obviously Microsoft is doing it. But I mean,
Microsoft still know that like they play games, right? So like their end users are going to be like gamers, right? Whereas Mac people are just like, oh well, our end users aren't gamers, so we won't.
I don't get that though. Like even the Linux people are understanding this now. Like, and even the support in Linux for stuff like this seems to be better than on macOS now. And I mean, I don't get it. Like, because if you look at the gaming industry, I mean, there's a reason I talk about gaming, and I talk a lot about gaming, even at Linux Outlaws. In Linux Outlaws times, I was always talking about gaming, even when Dan didn't really care. Because it's not only because I like it, but it's just like, that is what entertainment is for a lot of people now. It's not a niche thing anymore. The gaming industry is a lot bigger than Hollywood. Like in terms of revenue overall.
Yeah, like surely Apple wants some of that money, but maybe clearly they don't. Clearly they don't give a shit.
Yeah, I think it's part of that. They just don't give a shit about like that power. Like I think you said that, right? They don't give a shit about power users, and gamers are power users. I think that's gonna change. But right now they are. I mean, I think Apple's saying, well, they'll go, if they're not power users, they're just gonna go to consoles.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's not really power users though, is it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like either they're power users and they're going to do gaming on the PC, or they're gonna go to consoles. But I don't really understand. I mean, I would think that like it's not only gaming. Like having a state of the art graphics API is just something you need in your fucking operating system now. I mean, I don't understand Apple at all. I mean, they at some point they need this shit in iOS, because obviously gaming is a huge thing in iOS.
Yeah,
and they know this. Like, if I start my iPhone and go to the App Store, I mean, they constantly advertise games. You know, they have these editorial picks and whatever, and it's always games, and they know that there's a lot of money being made there.
And so I'm not a massive graphics programmer, but like compute shaders seems awfully like CUDA, CUDA stuff on NVIDIA cards, right? And that's basically where all of the machine learning happens. So does this mean that you can't like do similar machine learning things on Mac as you can on like Windows and Linux?
I mean, that would make sense. I mean, I don't think they care about that either.
Hey, data scientists, people don't buy Macs.
Well, but they don't buy Macs anyway. Like,
I mean, actually, I guess they do, because really what they do is that they buy a Mac and then they have a terminal and then they like SSH into some Amazon thing with their GPUs.
Well, maybe I was like thinking of other scientists, like, you know, people Katie works with. They don't use Macs. I mean, they use it's all Windows, like
I think
in biology and shit.
It'll depend like where you are, right?
Well, it's just like if you have specialized equipment. So in biology, it's like all the microscopes and shit. I mean, they're all
on Windows XP, and depend on literally like the actual hardware implementation of the USB
or NT.
Yeah, that's the shame. That's the sad.
Well, but at least it works. It's not like you could do that with a Mac, you know. Like the reason why these companies don't use Macs is like, okay, you've got your, I don't know, $2 million microscope, right? And you integrate like a Mac with that to run everything, right? And you have your software and you have it all worked out. And then Apple goes, well, we are doing an update and we're deprecating this option. And you're like, no, that bricks our $2 million microscope. And Apple's like, we don't care. You know, at least with Windows, you have an option. I don't know how it goes once Windows 10 is going to be like, okay, we will like the Mac now, we'll update everything. But I mean, Microsoft still has a backwards compatibility thing. I don't think they can ever get rid of that, because that's kind of that's how their market is defined. I think they want to get rid of it, but
I think like those old operating systems will live for as long as you can buy hardware components that support them. I don't think they're going. I think those incumbent systems are gonna stay. But I think realistically, we're going to have like hardware vendors basically do what like cheap mobile phone people do, in that they build it for like the Linux kernel 2. Blah, and they never update it.
Well, so yeah. I mean, that's true. I think I'm gonna do a corner and come towards Nicholas again now, and put my RMS hat back on. I think if Microsoft goes further in this direction, if Microsoft loses their backwards compatibility thing, which they are doing steps to do, like with business, that will possibly be the day of the Linux desktop. Because with Linux, you can completely do that. Like you can take I mean, it's updated all the time, but you can build a distribution, take a kernel, and then just have that run and never update that. Like, I mean, you could do Red Hat stuff where they support it for like 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you need longer than that, you're just not gonna update it.
Yeah, but I think then we'll end up in the same position as we are with like Windows 95 PCs running electron microscopes, in that they'll be riddled with security vulnerabilities.
Well, yes, but the operating system's generally a bit better than Windows 95.
Yeah, marginally, but they'll be like as immune to
but with lots of these systems, it doesn't matter, right? Because they're not connected to the internet. And
yes, but that's fine. Like the Windows 95 PC isn't connected to the internet, but it's still like the same problem.
You could put a USB key
updates, and it is you can never connect to the internet. And
but you don't want to.
Wanting it to happen is one thing. Accidentally having it happen.
I don't think like they usually don't have network cards or whatever. So you attack vector. I mean, people put USB. Sticks in there to get the images off.
At a large manufacturing company that I know of, they lost lots of weeks worth of production because someone plugged a USB stick into the wrong computer and it took down driving things on the shop floor. So saying that like they shouldn't be connected to the internet does not necessarily mean that they won't.
No. I mean, you're talking to me here. I've been writing about security for 5 years. So, I know that, but
I don't think just shifting the problem to things running an old version of Linux versus an old version of Windows really solves anything.
But what I'm telling you is that not everybody has this problem, because let's talk about this $2 million microscope, right? Mm-hmm. So people put something under that, take a few images, and take it off the microscope. So if somebody plugs a USB key in there, that thing gets owned, and Windows gets you get a Trojan, ransomware on there, right? So then there's no data lost because nobody keeps his images on the thing, because the hard drive's only 200 megabytes anyway, and some IT guy comes in with a USB stick, just wipes the machine, puts an image back on, bam.
But how long until how long until the people who know how to do that have left and didn't document it? How long until no one has the install media? We accidentally lose the install media for that version of Windows or those patches.
Then you call the company and they bill you €4,000 to come out and put a new.
What if they've gone bust?
Well, generally,
or they just go, that's no longer supported. They pull a Microsoft and say, well, that Microsoft
they do that at some point. But if you bought a microscope for $2 million, you got some better leverage than.
Yeah, it's the point at which you upgrade your microscope, I think.
No, it's the point at which you go, I paid you $2 million, you're gonna fix this, or I'm gonna sue your fucking ass. And the thing is, there's not that many companies. Yeah, if the company goes bust, you have a problem. But, there's not that many companies that make these microphones, and they don't really go bust because they sell $2 million microscopes. But I get your point. But I do think that, for lots of systems, it's just going to be like that. And if Microsoft's going to change for another way they're going to do their things, then people will use Linux. So you have the same point. That's what people do with Android. There are lots of phones out there that have horrible vulnerabilities that will never get fixed, and people use them every day. It's just...
and I think that's bad. That's my opinion of that.
Yeah, it's because you're young. Just wait 10 more years when you're jaded like me, and you just gotta think, it's just the way the world goes, We haven't died from it like this,
Not yet. But before Tacoma Narrows, people were like, "Man, these bridges, they're great." But we'll never get a resonant frequency.
We'll die from it if idiots, young people like you, still say, "Well, we need self-driving cars, and we need to put this shit into I don't know, hyperloops."
No, it's not. No, it's also all of the other generations being like, "This is how we make money. We connect it to the internet."
Yeah, they're all dumb. So my point is, it's all broken anyway. It's gonna stay broken. So let's not put it into things that work without it, right? And make them broken too, because cars fucking work. I don't need a fucking AI in there to open the fucking door when I go towards the car. I can do that with a key. People have been doing that for 100 years. It works. It's not much not much brain power expended there. I don't need a fucking AI for that.
It's not even just it's the ones that just unlock when your key is near the car.
Yeah.
That's
drive your fucking car yourself, And then, if you don't want to do that, and you've put AI in there, and we've been telling you it's unsecure, and the fucking AI gets hacked, and your loved ones die, don't fucking complain! Because you were too lazy to drive the fucking car yourself.
I think that is a misrepresentation. Lots of people die from people driving cars.
Well, that too. Yeah. I'm not saying that. People die all the time. I'm saying it's all shit. I say let's not make it more shit.
I'm saying that we can't improve humans. Education isn't
you're right there.
Great, but we can improve computers. That is a thing we're very good at.
No, we can't.
Yes, we can.
No. You've been just proving that we can't. Everything has security vulnerabilities, and it's not changing. It's not getting better. It's getting worse.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, but there's like a cost benefit thing of like how much benefit do we get from things that have vulnerabilities? Like, and if that outweighs the risk of the vulnerability, then maybe it's a good thing.
It's not a benefit that the car drives itself. I can drive a car. I can even, like, Dan and me did a podcast once while I was driving a car. It's not that hard.
Imagine a universe where self-driving cars eliminate road crashes and people dying in car crashes.
But they won't.
Imagine, but at the expense of, like, your car also mines bitcoins for a guy in Russia.
Why don't we just have, while we're at it, have free energy? You know, that would be neat.
Also be good. That would be nice. We'll get there.
You know, there's just like stupid laws of physics, like gravity, that we could eliminate.
No, the only thing that we need to get over to get free energy is capitalism.
Yeah, I can, you know, I know.
Socialism
like,
reacts.
In 1960s East Germany, they had a lot of free energy. It was perfect. You know, once you get rid of capitalism, it's just a paradise all around. You know, don't mind people getting shot at the border just because they want to leave the fucking country.
Capitalism is also wonderful.
God, you know what cracks me up thinking about this? You know what cracks me up? Like fucking leftist people who think socialism is great, complaining about Brexit. Have you heard of East Germany? That was a whole different kind of Brexit there.
Yeah, but you know,
complaining about Trump because he wants to build a wall. They build a fucking wall. Fucking communists build a fucking wall. It was there. God, this is great. Why am I so wound up? I've got no idea.
I don't know. You're full on.
This is good. Okay.
One more thing. Fucking socialists.
Fucking socialists. Socialists aren't that bad. It's just like the problem with socialism is it escalates too quickly.
That's the thing. It's almost like maybe there's some balance between like extremes, but no, that's ridiculous. The idea of reaching some sort of compromise is outlandish. We
need some socialist capitalism. Wait, national socialism? No,
we don't need that. What we do need is companies to pay their fucking tax. That is first thing.
Oh god, I have to go on a rant about this. This is great. Mm-hmm. So I have to look up the guy's name. So Heise did a blockchain conference last week in Hanover.
Wow. That sounds like the most thrilling thing in the universe.
Well, so I went there because it was in Hanover, and then I ended up like moderating a whole track.
You're like, this little bollocks. Fuck off.
Well, I tried not to do that, but in the end...
Absolute bobbins. Fuck off.
In the end, I didn't see one... So the whole conference was like stuff we can use the blockchain for. And I didn't see one thing, like one reasonable thing. Because it's basically what they all want... It's a cryptographically signed log. Yeah. Like Git. And there's absolutely no reason why it has to be peer-to-peer, decentralized. Like, this is all companies doing this, like, internally.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no. So, basically, we can't have an open blockchain. You know why?
Why?
Like, even if you don't want it internal, if you're like, oh yeah, open source, whatever, let's all companies, let's collaborate and have an open blockchain. You know why we can't have that in an open blockchain?
Because big players still exert.
No, GDPR.
There's also that.
We can't have it because of GDPR, because as soon as you put any information in there, you'll have to ask people, and they have to give you your consent first.
Oh, and that's the real reason for GDPR, is that they kill the blockchain.
It kills the blockchain.
It's a conspiracy fab they want to take.
So it's so amazing because so you can't have it, like, it doesn't work because it's peer-to-peer and decentralized. So it'll, like, you can't stop it. Like, once it's out there, it's out there. So if somebody writes anything in there, it's like it's out there, and that's a nightmare under GDPR. Now the problem with that is, their solution is, hey, let's not write the data in the blockchain, right? Let's just have a hash that points to the data that's somewhere else. And I'm like, at that point, why have the blockchain? You know, the data's on the website, and so they're like, okay, so we can put a hash in the blockchain or a link that points to a website, or
and you have to put a hash of the data in the blockchain as well to verify that the thing you're pointing to is the correct thing.
Yes. So, but the point is, you're pointing to a URL where the actual data is, and then the reason is you can pull that off, right? So you always need to have to pull that, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's idiotic because
bollocks.
Because then you have a blockchain with lots of broken links pointing to stuff that's not there anymore.
It's like, so when people say they want to put the blockchain in something, it's like, oh, you want a really slow database.
Yes. That uses a lot of energy. It burns down the planet.
It's just like you want like a cryptographically signed thing, like it's just like just like.
So nobody was talking about the environmental impact, right? I mean, I'm the only guy thinking about the environmental impact at a point.
If you're the only person talks about the environment,
yes, we're fucked.
Jesus
I'm like, so you give like gamers shit because they use lots of power, right? You want the fucking blockchain? What? So, but the thing I wanted to talk about, so the keynote, right? We were talking about taxes, right? And socialism. So the keynote was by Tavi Kotka, who is the CIO of Estonia.
What's the CIO?
Chief Information Officer.
Oh, right.
So he does all the cool shit. Like Estonia has like this digital.
Oh, you can be like an e-citizen of Estonia.
Yes, and I actually had a colleague who is an e-citizen of Estonia, except he lives in Germany. I don't know.
What does that give you?
Like that card, and you can authenticate. It's like I don't know. It uses the blockchain.
That sounds great. That sounds like an SSH key to me.
It has the blockchain, mate. I don't know. So he was talking in his keynote. He was talking about tax fraud is a big problem, right? Mm-hmm. And so basically what they made companies, so Estonia, this is like these small northern countries, they're basically, I mean, they're not really socialist, but they basically are. You know, they're as close to socialism as you can be in like a capitalist society, I think.
It sounds great. It sounds like companies are going to play their taxes.
No, so what they did is, so somehow they made a company, when a company buys something from another company in Estonia. Mm-hmm. I think I can't remember if you said there must be like a limit of like a certain amount of money you need to get over, whatever. They need to tell the government. And they're like, oh, we eliminated 30% of all like tax fraud. With this.
How much did it cost for them to do it?
I don't know, but like the point is, he was like, this is great. He's like, so every country should do it, basically, right? So at this point, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, right, okay, let me think.
In principle, the 30% reduction in tax evasion sounds great.
Well, I think they made money off that, right?
That's billions you can spend on roads and trains in the UK.
So I'm just thinking this. I was thinking this while I was there, but now I'm actually looking this up. So I'm thinking like, what's the GDP of Estonia, right? Mm-hmm. So the GDP of Estonia, according to this, oh god, now this is in German. Shit. I need to. Okay. So I need. It's right. German. There's millions and billions is different. I need to.
So, what do you mean, long or short billions? Is your million? Is your billion millions or 1,000 billions?
Oh god,
because there's the long or short, and basically short millions or short billions are the American way that basically everyone uses, because otherwise you would never use a billion.
Wait, what I need, I can't.
A billion being a million millions.
No, I fixed this.
Bonkers British thing.
I fixed this.
No one uses.
It's okay. I fixed this. I've got no idea. This is breaking my brain. I'm just going to google.com and typing this in, and then I get it in English, so I can tell. Okay, so the GDP of Estonia is $23 billion US. 23 billion. Yeah. The GDP of Germany is 3 trillion US dollars.
There's going to be a lot more transactions to verify.
Yes. So I think, I don't know. I want to know what the GDP of Hamburg is. So the GDP of Hamburg, right,
We
is
had a thing about this.
Yes.
It's all 6-gun.
so there's a lot of so that we have federal states here, and so basically if you look at the GDP of the federal states, right, Bavaria is best. Then there's North Rhine-Westphalia, Berlin, and the Saar region, and then there's the rest of Germany's shit. But except over better than Bavaria, there's a special category on the map which is just Hamburg.
Nice.
So I think this is maybe I can find this still. Where was this? Was this in the Politikkontroversen Sozialraum?
I would assume it was.
Yes, it was. So okay. So Bavaria, the GDP per capita. Oh god, this is too small. So the GDP per capita in Bavaria is 40 to 50,000 euros. And that's the best federal state, except Hamburg, it's 60,000. I mean, this is the same thing as with Estonia. It's completely, this is basic statistics. We did this in politics, right? So, because Hamburg's so small, it skews everything. Like, this is people saying, well, the medical system in the Netherlands is so much better than the one of Germany. Yes, it is, because the Netherlands are much smaller. You know, we have large stretches. Like, if you look at this map, there's large stretches in the east of Germany where this is fuck all. Like, you know, Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, there's fuck all there, which is why their GDP is so shit, like their GDP per capita. Now,
it's just grass.
So Hamburg's is really good, but the GDP of Estonia is 23 billion US dollars. The GDP of Hamburg is 109 billion euros. Let's see, 109 euros in USD. That's 129 billion US dollars compared to 23 for Estonia. So, I mean, Hamburg's a bit unfair because they have the harbor, so the GDP would be high here, right? But, like, we have more transactions going on in Hamburg than they have in Estonia. It's like, how can you be like, oh, this is it's a great idea if you're fucking small. If you do like this for all of Germany. Can you imagine the data that you'd have to, like,
yeah, it would be it's one of those things. It's like, it sounds like great in principle, but it obviously won't work because
Anyway, this is like rant news radio or something. People wanted rants. They're getting rants today. I don't know what it is. Must be in this.
Yeah, you're right. My desire to see companies bled dry does not work in practice because of the faff.
Yeah, also it's like, I mean, it's like different companies.
Bled dry. Like, we're just gonna get our pound of flesh, okay? Just gonna get. And we're going to spend it on roads, fab. We're going to spend it on roads, and then people will be happy because their cars will work
for the fucking self-driving cars.
Well, it doesn't matter for the buses, fab, because we're going to invest in public transport. We're going to invest in infrastructure.
I hate buses. What are you talking about? You hate buses.
We hate buses because they're crap. Because A, they're privatized, and B, because we don't spend enough money on them.
No.
Nationalize them and spend more money on them.
Mate, I live in Hamburg. We have great public transport. The problem is not that we're not spending enough money on the buses. The problem is the buses in principle are shit. There's other people in there. They're always like bumpy. You know, I get sick. It's like,
they're bumpy because we could spend more on roads.
No, the roads are good. I live in Hamburg. We've got great roads.
You just admitted it's bumpy. Like with well-engineered.
Because the buses are shit.
Because we've not spent enough money on it, Fab. It's an engineering problem.
Buses are shit. There's other people in there. I want to be on my own. They're all sick. And they're idiots. And they're talking about shitty things. I don't want to listen to them.
We'll give you some noise-cancelling headphones and a blindfold.
No. So that's a problem because noise-cancelling headphones do not work with people talking. They work with universal noises, great, but like not with.
I've honestly only ever like one noise-cancelling headphones, like a little bit in a shop, and there's this kind of like passive like. The noise cancelling like puts this kind of weird pressure on my eardrums.
Also, that's the white noise kind of things. Yeah.
The only way I can describe it as it feels like it's like a high pressure thing trying to squish my ears. So I just don't have them because it sounds bad. I just am quite good at not ignoring background noise myself. So I am my own noise cancelling headphones. Have that.
I'm just tweeting a picture of this beer because this is the best rant. I'm spelling Geek News Radio wrong. I wrote Gerk News Radio.
Gerk News Radio.
Hashtag special hell. This is the special hell. This is great. So we need to buy this if people want rants. Just need more of this beer.
Gets fat grumpy.
It does for some reason. I don't know. I had a good day generally as well. I don't know what it is. It says like this is great for body and soul. Well, if
citation needed.
Oh damn! I didn't take a picture of the special hell. Let me sec. Okay. Yes. What were the actual topics? What were we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about Lost in Space, Bosch, and Infinity.
Oh yeah. Lost in Space. Have you seen it?
I've seen the robot that everyone's in love with. Everyone likes its bum.
Is it what bun? What?
There's the bum. It's butt. It's got a sexy bum, apparently.
It does?
Apparently.
I didn't even know people were talking about this robot.
Lost in Space. Sexy robot. This is a bad Google search.
What? Wait. I'll do that too. Lost in...
Yeah, there's literally an article on The Guardian.
Of course there's an article on The Guardian. Robot pause. Like, what the hell is going on with The Guardian? I mean, didn't they just do normal John? It's just like this is not even an article.
It's hot takes.
And it doesn't have a picture of the bum. What's wrong with journalism today? These days? What the hell's going on, mate?
Lost in Space bum. Good. Oh my god, Google search. Basically, the robot has like really well defined butt cheeks, and everyone's a bit like, whoa, why is it so well defined for a robot?
I didn't look at it, but I feel I'm missing
Next
out.
time you watch it, have a look at the butt cheeks.
There are no pictures of this. What is safe search on? No, it's not. What the hell is going on? Anyway, so I kind of like the show.
So it is a remake of the old one.
Of the 60s show, yes, which I've seen at some point, but that was in the 90s, so I can't fucking remember anything.
Yeah, I remember it very vaguely because I was, quite young.
I remember Danger Will Robinson, yeah.
Yeah.
And so usually I don't like shows with kids in it. Especially when they're like this Will Robinson guy and they look like me when I was young. You know, cute, like, white kid with that bucket haircut. It's like fucking annoying because I was fucking annoying as a kid. I'm well aware of that. I looked like that kid, basically. He looks like me. That's what I looked like at that age. And I was fucking annoying. But he's good. He's actually not a bad actor for being such a young kid. Like it. And I dig the other people. Like they're good actors. Like the younger daughter, like with the red hair. So when I first saw this, I did think that she was actually the daughter of the actress who plays the mother, but she's not. Okay, but they're like, if you look at pictures, like if you look at picture of the cast, you can see that they're amazing. Wait, I'll dig out the link and put it in the show notes. Let's do this here. So if you look at that cast picture and like she looks like his daughter. I mean, it's amazing, and they're really good actors. Like the older kid, she's great too. They're all good. Like the dad's good, and this is like a show. Like if you want strong women, this is the show.
You want to be progressive and cool.
It's to the point where it's really ridiculous. So they're like a family who goes to space, right? And they had to do all these tests, and so the Earth's been struck by a meteor or whatever, and it's all going to shit, and they're going to Alpha Centauri, right? And so the mother is like an aerospace engineer. She's designed the fucking spaceship. Rad.
One person designed an entire ship.
Yes.
Plausible.
Well, no, she didn't. Like with a team, but she was like the project leader, right?
Like a group of people.
Well, if you're looking...
accountable set of people who designed it.
If you're looking for plausible, this is not the show for you, which is actually why I like it. So
breaking news, Fab suspends disbelief.
No, this is actually like it's a good change of pace from The Expanse, which I'm currently not watching because I just couldn't get around to it, but I will at some point.
I've also, because it's not on Netflix.
And this is just on Netflix, so I just watched that. Yes, as you know, Access is king. It's like with Steam. Anyway, so The Expanse is great, but I feel sometimes it's a bit far up his own ass with like, oh, it's hard sci-fi, it's all this science shit, and this doesn't have it, right? This is like, so if there's one criticism I have, it's like there's like 6 Deus Ex Machinas in every episode, and it's ridiculous. But if you ignore that, it's just fun. It's fun to watch. So mom designed the spaceship, aerospace, kick-ass aerospace engineer, can figure everything out, right? Dad wasn't supposed to go on the trip because he left her and the kids. And he's like a Navy SEAL, I think. No, he's a Marine. He's like a special forces guy.
The badass.
So the great, yeah. But the great thing about this show, and I've never seen this before. This is great. So I was watching this with Katie, and this is great. So she's like, "Well, people can't really complain that this like strong woman is," and I'm like, "No, not really, because the mother does everything, right?" Mm-hmm. To a point where
it's like the real life. What?
Yeah, but like, okay, so they're in danger in a survival situation on the planet, right? Mm-hmm. And you have like a Navy, what's the what's the
Navy SEAL? Navy SEAL, right?
No, he's a Marine. Okay. So at some point I think
Green Beret.
Yeah, I'm just looking this up. At some point they call him a Navy SEAL, which is wrong. So I guess it's just Marine Corps Special Forces, MARSOC. So he's like a Marine, right? He's a Special Forces Marine guy, right? And so they're in a survival situation. It's like, okay, there's a deadly animal here in this room, and somebody has to go in there and kill it. Who do you send? The aerospace engineer, the technical engineer kid, like the doctor kid, or the very young kid? And it's like
the robot
mother is like, I'm doing it, and I'm like, what? You've got a fucking Navy SEAL there, like, and he's like, the cool thing about this, he's not just the badass, he's a bit the dumb grunt. Yeah. Like he knows he's not as smart as his wife or any of the kids. He knows that, and he says that quite a lot. But he's good at killing things. He's actually, at some point, there's actually send him in, and there's like the aliens, and they need to fix something, and he's just killing the aliens, and then he comes back out, and they're like, wow, you're dead. You're not dead. He's like, I'm good at killing things. So it is really fun. I've seen all of it now. I really like it. I love how they made the robot, the original had a really shit robot. I guess it was great at that time. But like for today's standards, like special effects are just horrible.
Yes.
And
yeah.
They made a really cool robot, and they shoehorned the whole Danger Will Robinson thing in there. So Dr. Smith, the annoying scientist from the show, is now also a woman. And she's not actually Dr. Smith. Spoilers. She's like you'd see that in like the first episode, right? She's like a psychopath who basically, when they evacuate the big spaceship, just steals Dr. Smith's access card.
Okay.
And then she says, "I'm Dr. Smith." It's good. I like it. I like it because it's silly. I mean, it's a bit too much Deus Ex Machina cliffhanger kind of thing. Oh God, that's exploded with the spaceship. Is he gonna survive? But it's just fun. It's nice to watch. It's just on Netflix. It's generally good acting, I'd say. It's not as good as The Expanse, let's be honest. But it's got some really nice set design. Like it's very I would say it's alien inspired, like the starships. It's not like spooky or anything, but like the way the ships look is very like 70s, I guess. The space suits are great. It's just cool. It's got nice special effects. I mean, I think this is an actual Netflix show, right? The show that Netflix actually produced and paid for. So the special effects are really good. Usually Netflix shows are kind of shit.
Yeah, a little bit lower budget.
Which we're going to talk about Bosch in a second, which is great, and I think it's funny that Amazon's better at making TV shows than Netflix is. Where Netflix is actually a Flix. It's like it's an entertainment company, always was, and Amazon's just like this other
Amazon's just the everything company, though.
Yeah, I mean, but I do like the show. I recommend it to people. Like, if you're easily annoyed by why it's Deus Ex Machina here, then maybe it's not for you. Or if you're like, this makes no sense. No, when space doesn't work like this. No.
I watched the Avengers, so I'm fine.
Well, yeah, I think you'd be fine with this. You'd be fine. You'd probably find other things annoying. Like, oh no, she built the whole spaceship. What's going on?
That's fine. Obviously.
This is like
Thanos is this big lad from space who has these magic gems. It's fine.
Right.
It's fine.
So this is a really old-fashioned sci-fi, I would say. And it works well, and it has a better Star Trek intro than Discovery.
It's not a high bar.
This intro is like a really good Star Trek intro. It shows like it's a bit like not from the music. Sadly not. But it's like, you know how the Enterprise intro has like all this shit with the Enterprise and like all these ships,
like
and this is
all the Enterprise things throughout history.
Yeah, and this is like it has like space launches throughout history, and it's like there's like kids taking a selfie with the rocket, and it's really nice. It's good. It's got very Star Trek-y music. Yeah, I think it's good.
Right. I should give it a watch. We're currently going Brooklyn Nine-Nine still, the police comedy.
You're going what? You're watching it?
Yeah, we're watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Going through it like sort of slowly. We're on season 2. There's quite a lot of it, but we're still enjoying it. Like, it's not a Netflix original. It's like one of those things. Like, we could find ways of acquiring The Expanse, but like equally, we could just instantly
turn on Netflix,
watch 3 episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and then just like, oh, well, we're done now. That's fine. Yeah. So, fucking just give us the fucking Expanse, you bastards.
So tell me about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Did we talk about this before?
I get the feeling I recommended it at some point. But yeah, it's sort of 25 minute not really police procedural, because there's no really procedural aspect to it. It's just like a police comedy. I'd kind of describe it as like Police Academy, but like new and good.
Would I find it funny?
I think you would, yeah. It's like, I mean, I think if you watched the first episode, you'd know if you'd find it funny.
Right.
It's like maybe the criticism of Brooklyn Nine-Nine is that it is the same set of jokes forever. There's Captain Holt, who is the police captain, and he's kind of like a robot in that he's like super deadpan all the time and takes everything really seriously, apart from when like he breaks and like he says something funny. And then like that's the kind of it's like he'll say a funny thing, but also the funny thing is that the serious guy is saying a funny thing, which is like a quite frequently used thing. The kind of main character is kind of a goofy dude.
Where do I know him from? I know him from something.
Isn't he from that band, that musical people who did "I'm on a Ship," The Lonely Island, right? Andy
Samberg, yeah, apparently he is. He is.
Yeah, so he's from that. He's really funny. Like all the characters are really good. I think you're going to love some of the characters because you'll be like, yes, they're really good. But yeah, it's honestly like super like dividing. Like it's easy to tell if you'll like it, because if you don't like the first episode, you will not like any of the rest, because it's basically the same thing all the way through. But it's fun, and it's like 25 minutes, so it's the perfect thing to like watch while you're having dinner or something. If you are one for watching things while having dinner. And there's quite a lot of it now. Yeah, it's fun.
It's on Netflix. That's good.
And it's on Netflix. That's the key thing, is that like you can just press play and it happens without having to faff around with finding things, which is nice.
Yeah. So let's speaking of cop shows. Mm-hmm. I've been getting into Bosch.
Yes.
I think it's one of the best cop shows in recent times.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No. What service is it?
So downside, it's not on Netflix.
Boo.
It's on Amazon.
Oh, that's right. I have that.
But since I have Amazon to watch the Grand Tour, which is all I have Amazon Prime for, pretty much, and
not
some
even
getting
next day delivery.
Well, and that from time to time. But
now. Have you ever used Prime Now? Prime Now's great. I love Prime Now.
What's Prime Now?
Prime Now is the one where you can get things delivered in like 2 hours.
I'm not in fucking London. We don't have this.
What?
Although Amazon has built a new delivery center, like in the Heath, so we should be getting.
Heath? Oh, people really like the Heath chat.
Yes. So I think if people like the Heath chat, at some point we're gonna record a new Forstam Puchinki. I think I'm gonna brush up on my Heath knowledge, and we should do like a Heath special on there because it fits well with the Forstamt theme.
It does. Yeah. Let's get Fapping in the Heath? Question mark.
Oh yeah, baby! Let's do that. So
That's
Bosch.
That's title right there.
It is. Oh, I didn't even write that down, man.
Oh, it's just filth.
It's great.
Tell me what it's good.
Um,
Also, tell me the premise. I feel Char told me this, but I was probably wrong.
I don't know. Did Char talk about Bosch?
I don't know. There's a lot of the podcasts I don't remember.
So I don't remember either. So we'll have to ask her.
We can get corrected by the audience. They'll put it in the wiki. It'll be in the deep lore.
Yeah, probably. I will get an email from Nicholas. So Bosch is a show based on books by a guy called, what's his face again? Michael Connolly. I think I've read one or two of the books at some point. I know they like anyway. So what is it? It's a cop show about a cop, and his name is Harry Bosch, Hieronymus Bosch, like the
right. That's my question. Is this in any way related to the painter?
Well, the character is called Hieronymus Bosch, like the painter.
Yeah.
So
is that it?
That's it.
And
he so he's played by Titus Welliver.
Oh, that's a fucking good name. Anyone called Titus is good.
You must know him. He was in Sons of Anarchy. He's like in. Holy shit!
What?
He's from the US.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! I've had no fucking clue. I thought he was Irish because I watched. He was in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
And he played Jimmy O.
Yeah, he was in Air Force One. Assault on Precinct 13, the remake in 2005. That's maybe where I know him from.
Yeah, but
Argo. He was also in Transformers. Okay, yeah.
But he played Jimmy O, and I thought completely he was Irish. I thought he was faking his American accent in Bosch. And I'm talking to Katie, and I'm like, well, he's doing the American accent good in this.
He was in Star Trek Bosch. He was in
in Voyager.
Bosch. Star Trek Voyager.
He was in Star Trek Bosch. Lieutenant Commander Bosch. That would actually be good. Yeah, that would work. So he's from New Haven. He's from Connecticut. I had no fucking idea.
He's been in a lot of crime.
Yeah, he's been in
Law
everything.
and Order, CSI,
so he's
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Mentalist.
He's been in every. He's been in.
PD.
Yeah, he's been in Lost and whatever. So, but like, I think like Jimmy O in Sons of Anarchy was his biggest role. Aside from this, so he's the main character in this. I loved him in everything I've seen him. So I didn't know he wasn't Irish. But he's a great actor. I love him. Like he's great, and he's great in this. So basically, it's your stereotypically cop show. He's like a troubled detective.
He's a troubled man, but he's a good detective, isn't he? He's really good at his job.
Yeah, of course he is.
Do it.
It's kind of like Katie was like, "Oh, this is kind of like that other show you liked, which I hated," which she meant Luther. And his problems are not as big as Luther's, but he's also hard drinking. Is divorced from his wife, who is a professional poker player, which is great. Has a daughter, and like he's just like he's a bit fucked. Like he's the joke. You know how he's the joke of the force or whatever. Disgrace to his uniform, whatever. And it's just good. It's a good show. He's great. I mean, he's a fucking good actor. The other actors in it are good. It's one of those shows where like, so I'm gonna watch the last episode of the first season after this. But it's like a whole season. It's like 10 episodes with the same case. So it's not it's not a procedural.
Yeah, I was giving my question, like, is it like an ongoing thing?
Yeah, and in the first season he's hunting like a serial killer, so I guess it is like Luther.
So there's deep lore, deep.
Yeah,
lore.
it's a bit more realistic than Luther, I'd say. It's he's it's set in L.A. Works for the LAPD, and he's this like he was a like this is the story from the books as well. Like he was a special forces guy. I think in the books he was in Vietnam. Like he was a tunnel.
That wouldn't make sense in like a timeline.
Yeah, he was like a tunnel rat. So in the new ones, I think he was in. No, he was in. Yeah, he was in Desert Storm, and then at some point he says he re-upped after 9/11, and then went to Afghanistan and was like special forces and did tunnel shit there. So there's this tunnel thing he has got going on.
Tunnel shit. TM.
And he's just like badass, has like tattoos and shit. Because it's a cold 1911. Like no real policeman these days would.
No, I don't know. I think police officers in America get free reign over their weaponry. They can get tanks. They can get grenade launchers.
Well, on TV shows they do, but I don't know if that works. But it would make sense, wouldn't it? Because like that's. I mean, I guess you can just get it.
So they can effectively murder civilians.
Well, it's a cool gun. Well, that's what he does, right?
He murders civilians.
And so he's just like he has got all these tattoos, and it was like another point of this. Oh, this is cool. So I'm like looking him up, and it's like, oh, they actually painted over some of his real tattoos for this.
Nice.
Just a fucking cool guy, cool actor. Just like he talks like It's a bit tomati. He's a bit like
That's an audio emoji. That's the Tom Hardy audio emoji. Boom. Add it to the set. Coming 2019.
There's two options, you can turn yourself in, and then you get the needle, or you can just we'll catch you, and then we'll put you or no you can turn yourself in, or you can just take that gun and put it in your mouth. Or that's the third option. When we catch you, you could just we'll tell you to put your hands up, and you don't put your hands up, and I'm just gonna take you down for good.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's great. I don't know if you would like it.
I don't know. Maybe like potentially.
I think you'd probably criticize the privileged white guy problems.
Like, man, it's almost like this murdering police officer can get away with everything, right?
Well, it's not that. Like, he doesn't get away with everything. Like, the show starts with him being on trial because he shot a guy 2 years earlier, and actually he gets sentenced as well. But it's like he kind of does get away with stuff.
Of course.
I don't know, but I like it. I'm a privileged white guy. And
so you like privileged white guys?
I have similar problems.
Thus sustaining the privilege.
I'm drinking too much, and
it's the circle of privilege.
Just trying to get my job, keep my job. I don't get to shoot people though.
No, that's a good thing, Fab. Shooting people is a bad thing. Bad, Fab.
I don't know. Sometimes.
Bad, Fab. This could be used in a court of law. Bad. As your legal advice, but I'm not a lawyer, do not shoot people. Do not.
Oh, no.
That's for you too, the listener. Please don't shoot
only
people.
Shoot people if you're a policeman. You can get away with it. Only if you're an old white policeman.
Yeah. No, please don't.
I like him though. He's got that style. He's wearing a good watch. Important things like that. His shirts on point. He's got a cool gun. Great tattoos, and he's just like doing his thing. This is a great actor. I mean, I love.
He does a really good grumpy face.
Yeah. I mean, that's him. Yeah, he does that grumpy face all the time. I mean, that's Bosch basically.
Nice.
And he's like, it's cool. He lives in this have you played GTA 5 when you pull down that guy's apartment in the Hollywood Hills? Like in the beginning of that mission?
Right at the beginning, yeah.
He basically lives in that apartment.
Oh, nice.
So he's got this look over LA, right? And then somebody comes in and is like, I mean, how can you afford this when with a policeman's salary? And then
like, don't ask questions.
No, it's like they made a movie with him. So it's like Paramount paid for this. It's like because they made a movie with based on my character. The movie was shit. It's like, movie was shit. Yeah, it's good. I like if you like cop shows, the typical detective thing. And this is great. He's got a good he's like a bit okay. So when he goes around like snooping people's stuff, he's a bit Columbo, except he's completely not Columbo. So he doesn't talk. So and he doesn't annoy people so much. It's like he gets his partner to just like distract them, and he says, "I need to go to the bathroom," and then she just like in the meantime takes the whole house apart.
Fucking steals everything. Just.
Yeah, but she looks through everything and goes like, "Oh, well, what's this?"
This is nice.
It's like this dirty cop mode, right? I like it. I like the guy who plays the like in the first season is a guy who plays the serial killer. He's great. Yeah, it's a good show. I
should give it a try. It sounds great.
Recommend
it. It sounds super fun.
Yeah,
dark way.
Get fucking Amazon to to get things delivered in 2 hours, and then you can watch that on the side.
Yeah.
And you want to watch the Grand Tour because obviously Jeremy Clarkson.
Fuck it. No.
I found it was that a tweet? I found something where you said that you once sat next to Jeremy Clarkson.
No, didn't even sit next to him. So it was this kind of like Twitter thread of boring celebrity encounters.
Right.
And mine is I sort of made eye contact with Jeremy Clarkson on a plane. We were coming back from Iceland. And I think it was because a while back.
So you were coming back from Eve FanFest,
this
and he was coming back from driving Ferraris in the ice, probably.
No, because it probably was driving Ferraris in the ice, but this was in 2005. So when they first realized Iceland was a cool place to film for Top Gear. So I'm pretty sure he was coming back from Top Gear. Right. And because my dad is also 6'8" like I am. We've always got the wing seats just because basically we go to the check-in desk. My dad would look over their heads and they were standing on a platform and we'd be like, can we have the wing seats?
And you just put on your Space Marine voice and say
basically, yeah. We'd be like,
we need the wing seats.
Yeah.
The Emperor commands it.
And because you're on the wing seats, normally you get to board a bit earlier or whatever. So we get on, we sat in the seats, and then we're just this is the life. There's so much legroom. There's so much legroom you can't even touch the seat in front of you. And then Jeremy Clarkson gets on, and he's quite tall. He's 6'2" or something.
Yeah.
And he just stoops in through the the little door, and he just looks at us, and he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" He just looks at us with contempt because we've already got the wing seats and we're clearly tall. So you can't just be like, "Oh, get these short people out." It's we're both taller than you. So, in 2005, I was not taller than him, but my dad was. So it was just nah.
I would have swapped seats with him, right?
Yeah, I know you would. But we didn't. We were like, "Fuck you guys. This is our seat. Fuck off. Jog on, mate."
I'm kind of envious of that.
Yeah, it was it's kind of my one claim to Jeremy Clarkson fame.
Anyway, let's talk about things I'm not envious of.
Yeah,
you went to see Infinity War.
Yeah, I did. Okay, spoilers ahead. We don't have any feedback, so you can turn off now.
Isn't this all based on comics anyway? I mean,
yeah, but
so if you know the comics, is the film going to be a spoiler?
No. You won't know going in. It's sufficiently diverged from comic books that it's inspired by, in that there is this character called Thanos. He is a big purple fucker, and he was at the end of the first Avengers film, and he just sort of grinned and was menacing. And Thanos' deal is that there are these things called the Infinity Stones, and there are 5 of them. and they sort of each control an aspect of the universe. So like one controls time, one controls like matter and energy, one controls like a sort of sentient like spirit. It's called like the Spirit Stone, so it sort of controls people's will. And in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, up until now, various people have had Infinity Stones, or like things that were like
I've already zoned out. What?
Were so like the Tesseract in the Avengers.
Oh yeah, the Necron thing. I know about
the cube. That was the space and energy one. I think the blue one. It doesn't really matter which ones are which. Then
this is like lightsabers. This is like the Force.
It's just like each stone controls a different thing. Doctor Strange was the guardian of the time stone. That's his shtick, that the temple that he was in has just been like the guardian of the time for as long as fucking whoever knows. And Thanos' deal is he wants to we'll get into the real spoilers now. He wants to collect all the stones so he can go about his crazy plan for bringing balance to the universe. It's bonkers and doesn't make any sense. So
how can this be a spoiler? I don't know nothing about the movie, and that just would be the thing I guessed based on seeing a picture of the movie.
He wants to kill exactly half of all living things.
Okay, so the stones are the thing in his gauntlet, right?
Yeah. He collects the stones, he puts them in his gauntlet, and it like allows him to like control them and do stuff. So like rewind time or like create things. There's a scene where a guy's got a gun and he pulls the trigger, but like bubbles come out of it because he uses the like matter controlling one just to turn the bullet into bubbles. You can't think too hard about it because you're like, why does it just make the dude disappear? Like you're not allowed to think that. Bobbins. It just is. They're superheroes, and they will be solid for the plot reasons throughout the film. He wants to kill half of all people because, in his words, the universe is finite, but our demand is like infinite, basically. And he's like, I will. So he's basically saying the universe has like finite energy, basically,
right?
And that at like the rate at which we're kind of like increasing the amount of like living things, it's just not sustainable. So his solution is to kind of like kill half of all people, and somehow magically that brings everyone into line and it creates a utopia. It doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make sense. That would just double the time it takes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm shit at math, and I just figured that out.
But have you seen rabbits? They multiply very quickly.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, that's literally his whole MO is he wants to kill. He kills, like, he arbitrarily, like, there are scenes where he arbitrarily, like, divides, like, a city's population in two and then picks left or right and kills one half. Like, it's entirely arbitrary. And that's his shtick. He goes around the universe doing this to people, doing this to civilizations, until while he's finding the Infinity Stones, because the idea is...
Okay, before we get into that, does that have something to do with his chin looking weird?
No, he does have a ball-bagged chin, and it does get mentioned how he has a weird chin.
Okay, that's it's just
the character design. I think in the comics he also had a bit of a weird chin going on.
Just has a scrotum there. Okay,
he has a scrotum. Yeah. So he's pottering around trying to find all the gems because basically once he has them all, he has control over all of time and space. So he can click his fingers and just make it all happen immediately, and then he can, in his words, have a rest.
Have a nap.
Yeah, basically. So the film pretty much like is a complete like there's no fucking preamble. Like Thanos appears basically immediately. He's getting stones immediately. He like people are fighting him immediately. Like the first like fight scene with him is like with Thor and Hulk. Like I think it's the first scene. Like there is a fight scene with the main bad guy straight away. It's bonkers. So it's like completely nothing like previous Marvel films where there's like a story which they're like, oh, you know, here's what all the heroes are doing before the bad guys arrive, or like here's the origin of a dude. No origins at all. So yeah, that's a big change. Then basically the entire film is just the war that various superheroes are like fighting, because he's kind of going across the galaxy / universe trying to find these stones. So he encounters Thor, who's just come off the back of Thor Ragnarok. So he's on his spaceship with his pals, and he fights Thanos straight away. Doesn't go well. Hooks up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. They sort of are hatching a plot to kill Thanos because one of the characters is his daughter. It was established previously. And there's a lot of it was established previously in other films, which is exactly why you won't like it, because you've not watched them and you don't care. And it's the payoff, basically. This film is the payoff for the last 10 years of Marvel. And it is amazing. It is so good. There are great fight scenes. It's bonkers.
So what you're saying is this is just what do you call that?
Fan wank.
No, the sunk cost fallacy, the movie.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that people are like, oh, there's all this sunk cost of watching these films. If you wanted to watch it from the start, there is a lot of content to watch, but equally, it doesn't, it's not that long. It's a couple of seasons of TV, or over the course of 10 years, it's like a film, a couple of films a year, maybe a film a year. The sunk cost isn't that big, is what I'm saying.
But it's all the same movie, 25 times.
Yeah, vaguely, yeah. But at that point, it's all the same every time. So why would you watch it? And,
Sorry, all the same what?
It'd be the same comic book every time.
Oh,
but
right.
It's police procedurals the same every time.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking myself with comic books, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and to be fair, this is quite a long continuity for a comic book franchise, because there are the really long running comic book universes, but quite a lot of things get rebooted a hell of a lot. The Thor comic books basically exist for about 12 issues and then they go on to something completely different.
Why is that? Why
because just writers don't generally get to stay on a title for that long. I don't know why that is. It just has been generally the way. There's the odd author that gets a very long run on a character, but
fucking
generally
reboots. I've been thinking about why I like the BattleTech lore so much after we talked that after the last show, and it's basically because they never retconned anything. I haven't rebooted anything.
But it's not this is a new thing for comic books. It's been going on.
No, I know. That's one of my issues with comic books. Is the deep lore is just gets re.
Yeah, and it's all selective on what is imported from the past, and it's fine. There's a lot of mental.
No, it's not fine. It's shit. It's Age of Sigma. I don't like it.
It's fine. It's just fine. You can just sort of carry on, and it's great.
I don't like it.
So that's why you might like the Marvel films, in that literally all of the Marvel films, apart from the Incredible Hulk, count basically.
Why doesn't the Incredible Hulk count?
Because it was made. I think it was made before they'd decided to do the cinematic universe.
Okay.
So they did that one, and then Iron Man 1 came out, and that turned out to be a massive success. Yeah. And off the back of that, they were planning how to do the rest of it.
That's
there were in the Hulk film. There were jumping off points to go into the Avengers initiative, but no one really cared because it was a terrible film.
Do the Spider-Man movies count? No, right? Because
So Spider-Man got reacquired by Marvel.
So only the last one counts.
Yeah, the last Spider-Man one counts. And I don't know how going forward Deadpool is going to interact with it, because they're kind of getting, I don't know, that's boring comic, but lore bullshit. So it's basically all the films, all the characters, apart from a couple of them who don't come back, basically for contractual reasons. So, Hawkeye doesn't come back because he's boring. And there's some other guy who doesn't come back.
Why isn't that guy part of the just contractual reasons?
Because he's just I don't know. I'm not a fan of Hawkeye. But yeah, so and Ant-Man. Hawkeye and Ant-Man, the only two heroes from the entire past thing.
Ant-Man's stupid.
Ant-Man's bollocks. So yeah, it's basically all of these characters in one way or another fighting Thanos. And
Ballsack guy, face guy.
Yeah. And it's sort of, there's fights in space. Thor has to go get his hammer back because he lost it in the
poker game. The poker game?
The character Hela sort of turned up, and Helena, or Helen, whatever. Hell, basically the god of death turned up and she just crushed it in her hand, and he was like, oh shit. So he had to go basically forge a new hammer at a neutron star, and it didn't make any sense, but it was great. It was awesome. Like it was rad. Well, because that was always a thing in Thor's thing, is that like Mjolnir was forged from like the remains of a dying star. So he gets a new fucking axe.
Speaking of Thor, I don't want to interrupt you long, just quickly. I saw on Twitter the other day, there's like a Nordic myth of like a goddess who wants to stop Thor crossing a river, so she pisses in the river.
Yeah. Nice.
And he solves that problem. Like, I shit you not. I looked this up on Wikipedia. It actually is a myth. He solves this problem by chucking a stone up her
oh wow, Jesus Christ.
female parts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not happening in this film.
I'm gonna look up what that goddess is. Yeah, basically somebody on Twitter just said, make this Marvel, if you have balls, make this movie. Anyway, go on. I'm just gonna look up what she's called.
And then there's this whole like contingent on Earth, because he has some like chodies who sort of hang around him, looking cool, being his like little like gophers, who are also searching for the stones for him. And they come to Earth to search for the two stones that are on Earth. There's one with Doctor Strange, and one is in the character Vision. He's like this AI dude who has the Soul Stone in his head because he's rad. And they come to basically get those, and that's how the fight comes to Earth. And there are various fighting bits. Couple of characters, like in the first scene, characters are killed. Like some characters from the Thor films get bumped off in the first scene. There are Guardians of the Galaxy characters that get killed off sort of halfway through.
People are dying? No, this is not.
Oh yeah, no. So the end of the film is basically he gets all of the stones and wins. That's that. He clicks his fingers and half the universe disappears.
Okay, so how are they gonna?
We don't know. Basically, what the directors come along and said, none of the deaths are gonna get undone, which is going to be false, because we know from like scheduling that there are films involving these characters later on. We don't know if they're like prequels. I think they're going to do a universe splitting thing. To be perfectly honest, they're going to go down the the multiverse thingy.
Okay,
I think.
Just quickly.
Yeah.
Gulp. Her name's Gulp.
Gulp. Strong name.
So he's.
So yeah. Lots of characters die. Basically, all of the Guardians of the Galaxy are dead, apart from Rocket Raccoon.
What?
Yeah.
And they're not coming back?
Allegedly. This is a big...
Are you just telling me they killed the only people I cared about in the whole fucking cinematic fuck universe?
Bingo, yes.
Fuck you, Marvel.
I'm increasingly coming around to the theory that this split the universe into, like, in half. Because... There was the meme.
Sorry, it's cut what in half?
Cut the universe in half. In that, like, there will be a universe where the people who died, like, there'll be like, here's that universe with half the heroes, and then here's the other universe with the other half of the heroes.
They're gonna what?
Because in the one that we get to see,
I need more alcohol. This is making my brain hurt. Fuck.
Like, you know, like in DC, there's multiple universes. It's like Earth 514 or whatever. They've all got numbers, and various different things have happened in them. But like, there's a universe where like the main comics happen. But there are also universes where like the alternate universe where like everyone has a mustache and they're evil.
I'm really regretting that this is not a video podcast. You know that face that Bosch pulls that you thought that is like his that's the face I'm making right now.
So I think it's essentially because there was the meme. That was like, Infinity War is the most, you thought Infinity War was the most ambitious. Basically, everyone was saying, how on earth are you going to have a film where every character is in it? And the answer is, you do, and it's really good, but also I don't know how you sustain that. So they kill off, like, all of the kind of non-mainline characters. So they've gone back to basically the only, like, true Avengers knocking around are Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, who are canonically like the founding members of the Avengers. There's also Hulk kicking around.
By the way, that meme with the most
ambitious crossover.
Yeah. So did you see where somebody posted in reply, "No, that's not it," and posted a picture of the Magnum PI Murder She Wrote crossover?
Yeah. Like that was a good. I enjoyed that. That was a good meme. So basically, there are lots of characters dead. Spider-Man dies, which is again like we know there's another Spider-Man film coming out, so it's going to be a bit weird. But he dies in a kind of if you have seen the meme, I don't feel good, like Mr. Stark, and like
no
a thing disappearing. So there's a meme of basically the comment is I don't feel good, Mr. Stark, and then there's like something sort of pixelating and sort of disappearing, like fading away kind of thing.
Okay.
That's basically because that's how characters die. They sort of just like disintegrate. So Spider-Man's dead. Black Panther's dead, which I think is one of the main reasons. Like he died, and I was like, well, it's not going permanent because he's great and like super popular, so he'll come back.
Also,
and then the end of the film ends up with Thanos looking pretty smug on his home planet that's been restored to its wonderful glory, and he's just like living in a tent, and that's the end of the film. And that's because there's another one next year where they're going to do more things. Apparently, characters who didn't get a lot of screen time in this film are going to get more screen time in the next one. In
Infinity War,
I don't even know what the name is called, but it's coming out next year apparently. So yeah, it's really good. I did a tweet which accurately describes my feelings of it. It was so good I held a piss in for 90 minutes. Because before I went to the film, I drank 2 cups of coffee, then I got a large Pepsi. I drank them all, and then for 90 minutes, I was like, God, I really need to pee, but I can't miss anything. So immediately upon it ending, I legged it to the toilet, came back, and watched the after-credit sequence.
Right.
The Groot is dead, and James Gunn, the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy films, said that... basically that Groot, when he says I am Groot when he's disappearing, is basically saying dad to Rocket Raccoon, because at the end of the first one he does the thing that saves everyone and comes back as a kid. And basically he sees Rocket Raccoon as like his dad, which is like, oh, that's super sad, that's really painful. But yeah, it was really fun. Thor continues his kind of quirky funniness from Ragnarok that everyone likes, but then he also comes back as a badass dude with a massive hammer from the first film, which I really liked. Except his hammer's now an axe, and it's made of Groot's arm, because there's this whole scene where like when he's forging the fucking hammer, like he's gone to this like space station around a neutron star where there's this lad who makes things, and they can't find a handle. So Groot's just like, I fucking know what to do. Grows like a new arm that like binds the 2 heads of the axe together, and then just like he cuts off his own arm and then regrows it. Obviously,
is Thor an imbecile? Is he like he wants to make a hammer and makes an axe? What's going on?
No, see, he specifically is going to go. He's like, there's this. I need a weapon to kill a god, basically, like to kill Thanos, and he's like, I'm gonna go get this guy to build this weapon, and it's intentionally an axe, and it's called Stormbreaker, which I really liked because it is a reference to a character called Beta Ray Bill, who is like this alien Thor / alternate universe Thor. He's the Thor who has like the weird horse face, which they relentlessly keep teasing me with, because in Thor Ragnarok, when they're on the fucking junkyard planet where Hulk is a gladiator, there is this massive statue that has like Hulk's face at the top, and then some of the other major gladiators, and like the one on the left is Beta Ray Bill, and I'm like, oh, the deep lore. But he's not made a screen appearance yet. So yeah, honestly, I think you'd absolutely fucking hate it. And if people haven't seen Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok, you will genuinely be lost, because there's this whole scene that takes place in Wakanda, the nation in Black Panther, that is just like the last third of the film, the battle happens there. So like you'll be a bit baffled, like who are all these mad people? And then it's loads of characters you won't know, with no exposition on who they are, what their motives are. Like, you'll be like, why have we gone to, like, this jungle to find this one-armed dude? You'll be like, well, obviously, it's Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, from the Captain America films. Like, obviously. But they don't explain any of that, because we don't need it at this point, because the people going to see the film have seen all the prerequisite films, and the people who aren't going to watch it just aren't going to watch it. And it proves to be a successful strategy because it's made like $1 billion. So.
I have my head in my hands in this point.
It's amazing. People should go watch it. It's really, really good.
It's hard to explain how bad your setting is to me. Did Ellie like it?
Oh yeah, Ellie loved it.
Okay. Well, that's something. There's somebody whose opinion I trust.
Oh, yeah. Like generally, people who've seen it and know that. Well, like actually, unanimously, I've not seen anyone say a bad word about it. People like it.
Yeah, but that's like this is like people who read the Bible say it's a good book.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is that like it's entirely pre-selected for people who like the Marvel films enough to go see a culmination of 10 years of Marvel. Really liked it, so that's good. That's great. That's like basically. Yeah, that's basically people saying like, "Oh, well, Dan Abnett wrote a really good 40K book." Obviously, it's good 40K.
So that's the thing you're telling me is like this movie has a lot of the stuff I don't like in the Marvel movies, and they killed off all the people in like one of the true Marvel movies I actually like.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. No, like genuinely, you should not see this film. It makes you really angry. Like,
it kind of makes me want to watch this movie.
You'll fucking hate this film, man. You'll be like, how are any of these characters? What are they doing? Why is it all bollocks? Like, if Thanos has the power to turn bullets into bubbles, why can't he just delete all the superheroes? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
They should put that on the poster. Fab would fucking hate this movie.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, a lot of it doesn't make sense. I don't like it's really weird. There's this bit where like Doctor Strange, like he has the time stone so he can like sort of look forward and backwards in time, and he does this thing where he looks forward in time and he sees like the infinite futures, and there's only one where they beat Thanos, and then like 2 minutes later he gives his time stone to Thanos, and you're like, what? Because apparently that's going to be like cause it's part of the one future where they win is where Thanos has the time stone, and it's like a bit weird. So obviously we'll lead into other things. They kill Loki early on, but like Loki's been dead before. In the post-credit sequence, they kill Samuel L. Jackson, but as we know, the only person who can kill Samuel L. Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson, so it's obviously not he's not dead. Although I think Samuel Jackson is now contractually done. I think he's got because that's the thing. That's like the annoying thing. The only thing I don't like about the film is the bollocks surrounding it. In that we know so much about the production in terms of like how many films certain actors have signed on for that we know they're going to come back again. So like Benedict Cumberbatch was signed on for 6 film appearances.
What? Okay.
Yeah. So he's had like 3 Thor films. He's had like the first Avengers. He appeared in something else as well. This film. So that's 5. So 5 films, and he's got another one. But his character died like in this film. So you're like, well, like he's coming back, right? Unless they're just going to hold this over the actors' heads for like forever. But yeah, so there's all this kind of stuff you can attempt to infer from the out of universe bullshit that people shouldn't really care about. But people can care about it. Like, that's fine that people care about it, but like, it's annoying to see like so much fan time spent on like the kind of, well, you know, this actor's contracted for these things and this actor's contracted for these things. So, but this person's up now, versus just like talking about like how good or bad the film was, or like how good the art was. Yeah, I think maybe you could criticize the soundtrack in that like the only there's lots of the kind of like modern sort of film things where the soundtrack is definitely just backing music and doesn't really mean anything, because the only kind of interesting bits they have are just like basically just they're just rehashes of the first Avengers film, the Halley Carrier kind of music, which is da 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 da, which is like the Avengers theme. So that's like the only bit that feels like good and interesting and like, yeah, in terms of the soundtrack. Because like there was one song when Guardians of the Galaxy was on that was kind of like cool, but equally I'm like, they're doing that joke again with like, oh, it's a 80s, 70s, 80s song from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's great. Yeah, it's good. People should see it if they care. If not, just skip. That's my rambly review of it. It's just like, at this point, it's just like films for fans, basically, which I guess is fine.
I think I'm gonna skip it.
Yeah, like if you're just like, man, I've watched and read all the things, like have a go. But
I'm like,
never gonna get.
This all makes my head spin.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. It's either going to go into like they're going to retcon everything, or they're going to like just keep the people who are dead and just like shrink the universe. Which I would like the shrinking the universe thing, because it's just a bit sprawling. The more characters you have in it are like, they're the more of just the questions like, well, like where is X character? Well, Y is happening. Which are everyone asks all the time, and that's kind of like a bit of an annoying bit of disbelief in that you're like, well, you know, where is Tony Stark right now? The two characters who don't come back.
He's probably drinking or screwing around.
Well, no, because that's the thing. Like, he's not turned into a wholesome good boy, but he's like very much a superhero in that he's a flawed person who's trying to solve. So like. He's like the one person who would be able to like monitor everything on Earth and be alerted immediately if shit happening. So when bad shit happens and he doesn't turn up, is a bit weird. But like, yeah, it's God. I want the new film Fab because it just left it at this. Honestly, like I was like, oh, and then they're gonna beat him and it's gonna be over. And then it's like, oh, and he wins and the film's over and the credits are rolling. I'm like, no. I just turned toward him like, no, it can't end there. Carry on, please. Another 3 hours of film, or like 2.5 hours.
God.
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours, Fab. It's long.
It's a special hell.
It is a special
nerd hell.
It's great. Nerd heaven if you're into the good shit.
Let's do the feedback.
Oh, that's super easy.
Yes, and we didn't have any on Twitter or email. But I thought
we basically just released the episode.
Yes, but I thought we could read something from the Discord because we had some stuff on it. So I'm going to do this for once. So we had some comments on the last episode. So Pepper J says, "Man, the explanation is really boring. The sound troubles. An ISP conspiracy against Dave was more funny." Yeah. Well, it's still going on, so it's
still going. So it's clearly not resolved.
Maybe
it's Discord's conspiracy against this podcast.
Maybe we can have a new idea. Like maybe we can come up with some Infinity War bullshit about.
It's actually the Mumble developers DDoSing me. Because they want us to.
Yeah. Oh god, Mumble, fucking Mumble.
Set up a Mumble server on a Bytemark, like VPS, because we're brought to you by Bytemark Hosting.
Indeed. We had Growlbar made a meme.
Oh, I did make a meme.
Change my mind of you with a great picture of your face.
I don't know where they're getting these pictures of my face.
I don't know either, but they're great. This picture of your face is amazing.
I have no idea. I mean, that's definitely a face I pull, but I don't know where I go.
So, logging into a live account, into Windows with a live account, I use it so it syncs my wallpaper. Change my mind. Nicholas says the many faces of Slippers McSlippington.
Yeah,
is very good. What else did we had? Nicholas says, "What a wholesome episode! I love Linux enthusiast Dave. Welcome back to the camp, and thanks for the great recital of my email. Recital of your email. The points Fat made about hardware are a valid concern. It will be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm actually surprised it's not worse already." Then we're talking about Wi-Fi problems and cars, and you were talking about shorts, I think.
Yeah. I just did the thing where I post the wrong thing in the wrong channel,
and which results in a picture of Sean Connery in Hunt for Red October.
Yeah,
one bing, Vasily, one bing only, which is great. And we talk about battery life. basically just join the Discord.
Yeah, it's really good.
Right.
You had a bit of a clear out of inactive users.
Oh yeah. It was just so full. I just
it was kind of it was difficult to see like who was actually online, who would like log in.
Yeah, so I basically pruned everybody who wasn't on there for 30 days. But like, I mean, they can rejoin the server with the link, which is on the website. It's also this discord.sixgun.org.
Because we are smart and have a good.
Yeah, unlike Crate and Crowbar.
Yeah, they can do it. Like, I don't want to email anything like you could just do Crate and Crowbar. Like Discord don't do that, but like, it's our thing.
I should do just like crateandcrowbar.sixgun.org and it's just here you go.
There we
just
go.
use
You can
that.
do it too. Have a look at this was my dumb thing. I deleted like basically all my DNS records.
On your server?
On my website, yeah. So my website broke. So Gandhi, I have Gandhi for my host names just because I have for years.
It's a very peaceful hoster.
Yeah, very peaceful. And
then it nukes people. Little civilization
no
joke.
bullshit. And generally they're really good. But they changed how their mail forwarding works. And they also changed their DNS thing. So they changed how you like the user interface for like updating your DNS records. I logged in, updated them both. So like I fixed my email address, like david@mn.org, and I I opted into the new user interface. And as part of that, and a bit of a clear up of old subdomains that didn't point anywhere, I accidentally deleted the www. And the records, the A records.
Oh yeah.
Point to a website. So for a couple of days, there was no website, and I did not notice until I went to try and write a blog post. And I was like, huh? I shot myself because I was like, no, the
I've
VPS.
been hacked.
Yeah, like the VPS is running. That's good. There's nothing weird. Like I'm not mining bitcoins because like the usage is at zero. Like it's just fucking weird. And like at home, because the Virgin Media router, like you can't set a different DNS server. It uses the Virgin Media one. So I was like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Maybe it's Virgin Media being weird.
What? You can't use another DNS?
Yeah. It's like big.
What?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. You can
what?
I'll go into this later on how I fix this problem. But so I was like, it's weird.
You better fix this. You're a fucking communist. You can't have them dictate your DNS.
The first time I typed the address in, it like forwards me to this fucking random webpage. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck? No, I've been hacked. And then I'm like, look it up. It's like, oh no, this is actually Virgin Media's like web page for like, it doesn't really say Virgin Media on it, but it's like their thing that they redirect to when a website doesn't exist. So I was like, okay, this is weird. And then I look at the fucking like DNS records, I'm like, oh, it just doesn't exist. There's nothing pointing to the IP address. And then I forgot how things worked. So I pointed like some like, I don't know. I pointed davidmn.davidmn.org to the website, which was not good because I'm stupid. And it's like, it's the thing you configure once, right, and leave it forever. So
sure.
Why would I remember the syntax that
nobody does.
The one that takes it. Like, of course, an A record takes you to the like just the bare domain. Christ, that was a thing I fixed that gave me like a couple of hours of terrifying, like, oh, Jesus Christ, I've been hacked. No, what am I doing? So fucking DNS. Fucking DNS, Fab.
Yeah, it's, yes. So speaking of websites, I made a new website. If you go to fapsh.com, Foxtrot Alpha Bravo, SierraHotel.com, you can see me working for a bank in my suit. I made Hugo is great. I Hugo'd a new website. God, I love Hugo. That sounds like I'm gay. Man, I love that. I love Hugo so much.
Oh, it sounds like you're like really into like Hugo Boss.
No, can't be into those.
Man, this update is great.
Did you know they made the
outfits, the
concentration camp
costumes? Yeah, they made lots of things.
Those costumes, yeah. And the SS uniforms.
Yeah,
too.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, their costumes, aren't they?
Fucking
just that cosplaying, you know, that in the 30s, that bad cosplaying. Yeah. Anyway, I think we are done. We did 2 hours of show almost. It's like when I saw the notes, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a short show. No, it's never a short show.
Sorry, no, we do like half an hour of fucking rat holing at the beginning. So
yeah, well, then I did like some rants for some reason I don't understand. I think this was a time rift. So basically, at the beginning of the show, I was getting angry in preparation for whatever bullshit you explained there for half an hour about the Marvel Universe.
You were so angry it went back in time.
It was a pre-rant. It's indeed.
It's fantastic.
I think that's what
if
happened.
you would like to submit feedback that will go hopefully in the next show.
Well, if our DNS works.
Well, yeah, if you're even getting this, because we, if Fab lets me at the DNS records, you're not getting this episode. You can email us long form if you think we're wrong and you need an essay to describe why we're wrong. You can email us at gnr@sixgun.org. You can tweet us both, where we'll retweet you, probably, at Geek News Radio. Fab is...
Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra Hotel.
I'm at Mega Slippers. That's Mega Slippers. We have a Discord, we've mentioned. Go there, it's great. YouTube, where things get posted, and the fat things go up.
Where we fap in the Heath.
We fap in the Heath. And that's it.
No, before we go, you need to explain to me how the hell you fix that router. I want to know.
So basically, you can put the Virgin Media's cable, and it has a cable modem and router built in to one box.
Yep.
You can stick it in modem mode, so it basically doesn't do any.
You put your own router behind it.
Put my own router behind it. So I am taking recommendations on what router to get. People in the Discord told me to get a Fritz box.
Yeah, but you're in the UK. I don't know if that's a good idea.
You can buy them apparently.
Really? Do they come with a little pickle haube?
I don't think they do.
Do you go like to the shop? Hello, I would like a Fritz box.
Yeah. So if people
it's like that Hitler in Britain sketch by Monty Python. Yeah, no, I was never head of the Gestapo for 20 years at all. No.
Yeah, so recommendations for routers are very welcome.
I like the Fritz box. It's good.
See, that's what everyone says. That's why everyone's like, the Fritz box is really good.
I just don't know how good the English interface is.
Oh, well, luckily I have a load of German friends.
Yes, I'm gonna ring me up. What does that mean? that reminds. Oh no, mine's in German. I was wondering if I had said it in English, but I guess it's in German. I mean, I could.
Oh man, if I after Brexit, are they just going to turn my Fritz box off?
No, we're not that. No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I just imagine like all those wet WhatsApp images of you just taking a photo of like the router interface. Like, what's this mean?
And you'll be like, actually, that's just an acronym. Or...
What's ein DNS record mean?
How do I point it at Cloudflare?
Yeah. So I think that's it then.
Yeah. In the meantime, hack the planet.
Prepare for Alpha Strike.